Welcome to Keep Track Week Day 6. How many hands am I going to win in 10 hours? In Council Bluffs, it was 13 and a half. Don't forget the half. Chopped, a blind versus blind hand. Not that we didn't play it. We had the exact same cards, and at Showdown, we split the pot 50-50. So it was 13 and a half in Council Bluffs. I expect it to be more out here. I expect a lot more raises pre that go uncontested. That almost never happens in Council Bluffs. So I'm at Aria right now. The first half of the day about will be here. Don't know where I'm going to go later. I definitely will not play all 10 hours here in Aria, but it's about noon right now, and we'll see what happens. How many hands do I win? Only been playing 3 of the 10 hours. I'm going to count hands today, and I've already won 3. Raise pre and everyone folds. In Council Bluffs, it was 1. I won 13 and a half hands. Only 1 of them was raise pre and everyone folded, and it was in like the final 10 minutes of the night. Already in 3 hours, I've done that 3 times. So I'll let you know the total, and if I keep track of raise and takes also. Not really keeping track of it specifically, but I vividly remember those 3 hands. So we'll see at the end of 10 hours what it looks like. Almost exactly halfway through the 10-hour count for how many hands I win. Played 5 hours 1 minute just now at Aria. I won 10 and 5 I raised pre and everyone folded, and I was on what I thought were the best 2 tables. I was on 1 table transferred, so I was on the best 2 tables in the room in my opinion. I only won 13 and a half, so a lot fewer hands get contested out here. I'm already at 10 and only about halfway, so I'll probably end the night at Bally's. Been doing that a lot lately. Aria daytime, Bally's nighttime, and we'll see how many more hands I win. Okay, took a break, changed rooms, and I am back at Aria. I would bet that I finish, hour 10 is when I'm playing Bally's, but for right now I came back to Aria, and yeah, I've won 10 hands so far, 5 of them uncontested. They ended pre-flop, so got about 5 more hours. I think 4 hours 59 minutes to be exact, and we'll see how many more hands I win. This is the count I'm getting right, and the numbers are proving it. I played Aria for a little bit. I think I'm up to like 7.5 hours. I've already won way more hands than I won in Council Bluffs, and I'm losing. You know why? Because a lot of the pots are small. A lot of them I raised pre, and that was it, even though I'm table changing to what I think are the best games in the room. And just even when you get called, it's heads up. There's not a ton out there, even when you take it down post flop. So got about 2.5 more hours heading to Bally's to finish the night, and we'll see if things stay the same. But right now it's looking like one of my most accurate predictions. The result, the reasoning, and I'll go into more detail either at the end of the night or in the wrap up at the end of the week. In the middle of the night when Bobby's Burgers is closed, they put the garbages on the counter. So once they get operating in the morning and they slide you your food, it's just in a pile of garbage. This turned out to be a really interesting count. You know what I realized when it was going on? I think this, more than any of the others, is really showing the difference in city. Because over 10 hours in Council Bluffs, 10 hours in Vegas, 10 hours anywhere, I should get the same amount of weak hands, medium strength hands, very strong hands. But how other people play against me is going to be the big factor. So I ended up with 19 hands won in 10 hours. I played a little over 10. I stopped counting at 10. 7 of them were done pre-flop. In Council Bluffs, it was 13 and a half hands I won, and only 1 was done pre-flop. A lot of small pots I won. I ended up losing on the day I lost $50 because the hands I was winning weren't very big, even though I was changing to good games. Aria started as a good game. When it got worse, I transferred to a better game. I went back to Aria after Airbnb check-in, did the same thing. And in Bally's, it was just a solid game all night, didn't transfer. And still, just the hands I was winning were small. I don't remember exactly how much I won in Council Bluffs, and I don't remember what day it was, otherwise I could look it up. I remember it was a winning day. In the last 10 minutes or so that day in Council Bluffs, I lost a pretty big pot. I remember the riverbed being 100. I lost, and that made the day turn from a very good winning day to like a decent winning day. I went from like probably winning close to 200 to winning like, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks or something. So I remember it being a winning day, but here I won 19 hands instead of 13 and a half. and I lost $52 on the day. I'll go deeper into it in the wrap up at the end of the week, but I got this one right. 1 more hands and won 6 more that ended pre-flop. 7 out here compared to just the 1 in Council Bluffs.